Hi, my name is Arlo Simons, and I just wanted to explain some of the food groups that are available to all the students at FGCU and then how to cook them later on. So this is an interesting spot because we have two of the more premier species in the food forest that provide tons and tons of food to all the students. First of all, we have the pigeon pea, which is these here. These are a dried version of the pigeon pea itself. If you crack these open, they contain little peas inside that you can then let them soak and then cook them like any other dry bean, which is pretty unique. Then we also have the Moringa oleifera right here, which is an extremely nutrient-dense perennial green. Within this little leaf structure, there's more iron than spinach, there's more calcium than milk, there's just as much protein as an egg, there's more vitamins and minerals that you can find in carrots and oranges and things like that. So it's really an awesome food and one you should incorporate into your diet, and I plan on showing you how to incorporate it. I also wanted to highlight another significantly nutrient-dense perennial green available at the food forest for all the students. This is called Chaya. Now Chaya is interesting in that it contains natural levels of cyanide, so to cook with it you just have to boil it. So I plan on showing you that later on as well. And it's a delicious, very nutrient-dense, again, perennial green that you can substitute for any spinach dish or anything like that, and it has much more nutritional value to you and I. In addition to all the perennial greens the food forest highlights, we also have 48 different varieties of tropical and subtropical fruit trees. About 6 of those are citrus varieties. This one right here is a Meyer lemon, and I plan on utilizing the Meyer lemon during our instructional cooking portion of the video, so look to the Meyer lemon when you come out to the food forest. In the food forest, we utilize concepts of permaculture, which are related to agroforestry and organic gardening. Specifically here, we're utilizing sweet potato as a ground cover to protect our soil, but also provide nutrient-dense, rich food groups like a sweet potato. So I plan on utilizing this in the cooking portion of our segment as well. Here's an example of some of the fruit that I've harvested recently at the food forest. We have some pre-chopped papaya that I harvested several days ago. We have a big old thing of bananas that I took just a few days ago. And then we have some passion fruit, which can be found in abundance in the food forest this season. And to eat a passion fruit, you just cut it right open, split it open, and it looks a bit like a pomegranate inside, and you eat the seeds and the jelly substance, but not the outside. Now I'm getting ready to prepare the pigeon peas that we harvested earlier at the food forest. And here I have an example of some of the dried beans that we harvested right off the tree, an example of some of the beans after they've been shelled, and then some of the peas that I've had soaking in water for several hours now. And all you gotta do is just take those beans that you soaked, dump them in a pot, fill the pot up about just above the pigeon peas themselves, and then turn it on to a good high temperature so it comes to a boil. And you can throw a little salt in there as well. This is the chaya that we harvested at the food forest earlier today. You can see the amount I have here can feed about 3 to 4 people. So you can harvest as much as you think you'll need and then use a equal amount of water to that. So I have a larger sized pot here filled about 3/4 the way with water. What I'm going to do is just roll up the chaya into something like that, and take a nice knife and cut it into thirds. That way it's manageable once you've cooked it, and throw this chaya right into the water to come to a boil. Add a little bit of salt and let it boil for about 20 minutes. And the reason you do that is to cook out all the cyanide that's within it that I mentioned at the food forest. As you can see now, our pigeon peas have come to a boil, so you're just going to want to stir them slightly for about a minute or so, and then turn your heat down to a good medium and let them simmer. You can even put a top on it, which I don't have with me, but you can just top it off and let it simmer for a good 20 minutes or so. The pigeon peas have now been simmering for about 20 to 30 minutes or so. So what I'm going to do is take my wooden spatula here, give them a nice stir. This is optional, but you can put in about a tablespoon of butter. Again, stir that in so it starts to melt with the peas. And then turn it down even lower to just about a low setting, just so there's still some heat in there. And then let them cook for an additional 5 to 10 minutes. and then you can add them to rice, and they're delicious. Now that our chaya has been boiling for about 25-30 minutes, you then take that chaya, dump it into a strainer, let all that water strain out of there. And you can take the chaya and put it right back into the pot. Add about a tablespoon or more of butter and stir it up. And you can just let this cool and serve it as is. I've now plated the chaya. I'm starting to plate the pigeon peas. I've added them to some rice here, as you can see. I've prepared a nice garnish of fresh moringa that we harvested at the food forest earlier. And that is a food forest meal. I recommend a frosty beverage with every meal, and that's how you cook at the food forest.